Nobody sells more muscle than Mecum. No one.
1,500,000. I have $1 million. Anybody get $1 million? $1 million.
Mecum High Performance Auctions, now in our 20th year with 50,000 cars sold. Go to Mecum.com to view our schedule of upcoming auctions and the inventory to be offered. Nobody sells more muscle than Mecum.
Yes!
Nobody.
The next car that you're viewing on ClassicMuscleCars.com TV is a new arrival here at ClassicMuscleCars.com. This is a beautiful and a beautifully restored 1970 Cuda 440 6-pack 4-speed. It's a track pack option on this car that has been added, so it's got a 410 Dana in the back. Now, engine is original numbers match. It's original subline green car, and it is rotisserie restored. Now let me talk to you about what rotisserie restored means. A lot of people confuse that. You hear frame up restoration, body off restoration. Mopars, you talk about rotisserie restored. Frame up restoration can be used for all cars. That means that the car was basically restored from the rocker panels up. The bottom of the car might have had parts replaced, suspension parts, brakes, maybe a gas tank, brake lines, fuel lines, things like that. But they really didn't go and repaint the whole bottom of the car. It's what we call a driver bottom. Some cars could be rusty underneath, some cars could be patched up underneath, some cars can be undercoated, some cars can be just shot with flat black paint or 90-degree paint. That's what we call a driver bottom. Now, on GM cars, which is, if Jeremy can swing the camera real close here, just over here, it's a GM car. This is a Cutlass SX 71. These cars have frames. So what you do when you do a body off restoration, which not too many GMs are done that way, most of them are frame up restored, so is that car. When you do a frame off restoration, you actually pull the body off the frame because you have a full frame. Unless you're dealing with a Camaro, for example, then that's a subframe. You pull the subframe out. That's how you do a body apart restoration on a Camaro. And if you're dealing with a GM with a full frame, you take the body off the frame. Mopar is a little bit different because the frame is pretty much all one piece. These are unibody constructed. So what you can do is pull out the front subframe K-member on the bottom, and then you have the whole body shell, which is why when you hear the term rotisserie restored, that means they strip all the parts completely. Everything is off the car. Glass, interior, the hood, the doors, the suspension, the K-member underneath, the engine's out, the trans, the rear end, all the lights, all the wiring, all the hardware, all the glass. The only thing you wind up with is a bare body shell. Now that body shell gets put in a cradle, which is a rotisserie rack, which that's where you get the word rotisserie. It's just like if you're putting a turkey on a spit and you're going to have it go around and it gets heated up and you're cooking the turkey on a rotisserie. That's what we're referring to when we're talking about a rotisserie restoration. You bolt this into the cradle, you roll it over on its so the bottom is exposed, and then you can rework the whole bottom of the car. When you do a rotisserie restoration, you're going to paint the entire shell of that body, including the bottom. So all Mopars that are correctly restored is the same color on the bottom as the exterior. Now GM is different. GM cars only did their cars in a satin black finish on the bottom. They were never painted body color. So all Mopars that were done were painted the full body. So this car has had the full body apart rotisserie restoration, and it's completely done right, and every single part on this car has either been restored, replaced, or refurbished. This is a top quality restoration. The higher the restoration level in terms of being quality, the higher the price. This car has had a lot of restoration money put in it. This is also a shaker car. When Jeremy goes around, he's going to show you. it's got the real cool Argent shaker that's sticking out of the hood, and it was equipped that way from the factory. This is a great car for investment potential because this car has had an immense amount of restoration time put in it. Now, we use a formula, for example, 1,000 hours of restoration work. If you've got 1,000 hours, that is probably where you're going to be if you're doing a complete body apart, every nut and bolt restoration. 1,000 hours would be a minimum number, okay? You take that 1,000 hours and you put current pricing on it of $100 an hour, let's say, and that's reasonable. Some people are higher. You might find somebody at 80 or 85 an hour, but let's just say it is $100 an hour. So you take 1,000 times 100, you get an idea of what you're talking about. It's very expensive to do restoration. Now that's labor only. That doesn't include the original cost of the car, and it doesn't cost any of the parts. That cost is not into that figure. So if we're talking about $100,000 in labor, then you've got the car and the parts to go on top of it. It gets very, very, very expensive. So this is a top quality restored car. If you look at native book value on this particular car today, we looked at it in top condition, which is excellent, is $161,000. That top condition value does not reflect a car of higher restored status like this car. This is a rotisserie, body apart, every nut and bolt done. So that is at a higher level. So we've got this car where I feel priced at about $100,000 less than where it should be. So this is a fantastic deal for you to get into. 2 years ago, you couldn't have bought this car anywhere near that kind of money. Today you can, but I will tell you, when the opportunity is there to buy a car like this, you need to make sure that you can own something like this, because guess what? When the market comes back up, these cars all go back up. And in 30 years that I've been doing it, I will tell you that I've never been wrong, number one. And number two, what I've seen is when prices do go up, they go higher than where they were prior to when they went down. So this is a car that you can really get into to have some fun. It's ready to go and show, and it's a great, great investment. So give Randy a call at 847-526-5950. He can give you more photographs of this car, give you all the information, and look us up again on ClassicMuscleCars.com. We're going to be out with ClassicMuscleCars.com TV a lot more this year in 2008 on Speed TV, and we're on every night on Channel 102 Comcast here in Chicago.
Performance Restorations in Mundelein. Award-winning custom car design, restoration, painting and build-ups. All performed here at Performance Restoration Shop and Collision Center by master craftsmen who provide the best in complete restoration and mechanical work. There's no need for the West Coast. It's all here. Performance Restorations in Mundelein. Call us at 847-566-7469 or visit us online.
All right, Mopar fans, we've been waiting for one of these for a while, and here it is. 1970 Sublime Green 440 6-pack Cuda. Awesome machine. Let's check it out. Here we are up close and personal under the hood here, and the first thing we see that kind of prominently sticks out, properly labeled, is the shaker. That color is Argent, and while we're up here in the front, let's go down just a little bit lower here, and we'll see that the grille is also the same color. You see the headlight buckets, the grille itself, turn signal lenses, all in great shape. The bumper chrome is spectacular. Awesome. Lower valance, rally lights, headlights, rally lights, fog lights. And there's that 1970 Chrysler plate. Back top side. Beautiful paint job. There's the fender tag. No power steering. No power brakes. Immaculate paint job. Beautifully done. Continuing around. Hockey stripe looking great. Down below, we've got the gills for the Cuda. Nice set of stock steel wheels. Coming around the rear, taillight lenses. The back panel itself looking great. Bumper chrome. Yeah, someone left a handprint there. The lower valance. Now check out the lower valance here with the extra wide dual exhaust coming through. Chrome tipped dual exhaust coming through the lower valance there. While we're at it, there's the Cuda gills right on the bottom side of the door. Underneath here. Check out the underneath. Awesomely clean. Same color as the car. Totally fresh. Taking a look here at the front suspension. Totally beautiful. Fresh. Brandy new everything. I wouldn't say there's a lot of miles on this. And one thing I like about the 440, it's real easy to change the oil filter and not make a huge mess. It's right there in the front. Here we are in the driver's side rear. Taking a look at the whole ball of wax here. Nice. And now here we are on the inside, or at least going inside. Remote mirror, remotes. Do the once over here from the outside. Dashboard's looking quite nice. There's a nice little slapstick 4-speed shifter. No console. Headliner. It's looking good. Functional dome light. In the rear is the antenna. The carpet itself is looking good. Back seats are looking good. Unmolested back deck. Seatbelts for everybody. Now I've got my seat here in the driver's seat. First thing I see is the simulated wood wheel with a Cuda here in the center. Very cool. And the speedo, it's a 150 speedo showing 25 miles on the clock. Tack. Here's the gauge package, which has the oil pressure, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and ammeter. And the clock is functional. Look at that, it's keeping time. And there's the factory AM radio from Chrysler with, oh yes, check it out, 8-track player. And down below, there is, there's the car bear, which controls the shaker airflow. Continuing along here, the rest of the dash is looking great. While we're at it, let's close the hood. And there we are, the shot with the hood closed. Beautiful. This beautiful 1970 440 6-pack Cuda is brought to you by ClassicMuscleCars.com.
JJ Best Bank & Company is the first to offer classic car financing and is the largest lender of its type in the country. Classic, exotic, and muscle car enthusiasts and dealers recognize us as the leader in the muscle car financing industry. Offering long terms and low rates, financing is available for your classic car loan. Contact JJ Best for your dream car loan today. Call 800-USA-1965 or apply online. It's fast and free and will put you in your dream car in 10 minutes.